Today on the show, man, it's all Star Wars, a movie you haven't even heard about yet.
What? And Creed?
Yes, and lots of trailers, including Fantastic, what is it?
Fantastic Bestiality.
That sounds so hot. All that and so much more on this episode of Fat Man on Batman. Hey, kids.
Hey, Harry
Welcome
Potter.
back, man. This is the, what are we calling it? The Christmas Eve edition.
It is.
Of Fat Man on Batman. I'm Kevin Smith.
Marc Bernardin.
Yeah, and it is still Star Wars year. I'm telling the release of Star Wars feels like my wife when she's like, it's my birthday month. Even though her birthday is on the 7th of April, all of April is like...
Pretty much.
Total.
She just annexes it.
Same thing, man. They need to do this every year. I'm into it. Like, you know, you saw my review last week and stuff. But they need to have... They should just give Christmas to Star Wars.
Yeah, except that they're shifting. I think episode 8 is going to be May again. I think they're going.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I think they only did December because they needed more time to make it. But now that they've got another year and a half to do, they're going to go back to the May schedule.
See, I heard that they did December because of the Holiday Multiplier. Like, if you look at the records, Avatar is the highest grossing film of all time still. Right. Released around the holidays. As the number 2 movie was Titanic, released around the holidays. Neither of them summer movies, am I correct about
Correct.
That? So I think...
Same thing with the Lord of the Rings is.
Making money in the wintertime and a holiday movie. So I think, if I remember correctly, I think it was a strategic first order type effort to be like, this, if we're going to open with a bang, why compete? Like, we can have all of winter. And what rules about that is you got this thing called the Holiday Multiplier at the box office, which we're seeing in full effect right now. For example, everyone's, I mean, these cats, they look 3 years out at a fucking calendar. And these are the people that make movies, dude. Not like the filmmakers and the actors. It's the person who looks at the calendar 3 years out and goes, okay, this Monday, Tuesday, if we open on this Friday, this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and Thursday till Christmas, every one of these days is a Friday at the box office.
Right.
Christmas happens, we're going to rake in even more money because this is a fucking family film if ever there was one. And then all the way through January, they're going to continue to earn. So if you were going to go for that top slot at, you know, the highest grossing film of all time, which, as we've seen after this opening weekend,
It's got a good shot at it.
they're in spitting distance. Like, you know, there are a lot of pieces, all these pieces. I've read a piece on Forbes 2 months ago going, yeah, we can make that much money. Holy shit, fire that guy.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, Forbes.
yeah, let me write your articles. Holy crap. So at the end of the day, you know, this movie might just get there.
I think it totally will.
And based on quality alone, like, you know, it's like a milkshake of a movie where you're like, oh man, if somebody was like, you want a milkshake? Like, meaning like, hey, you want to go see Force Awakens again? You're like, yeah, oh my God, I would drink that again.
Do you like pizza? Sure.
Exactly.
Want more pizza? Why not?
Exactly. Now, I saw some cats online get all shitty about like, how come you like this movie? It's just a repeat of fucking Star Wars. I'm like, well, it is a sequel, so that was bound to happen. Some elements of the other movies might be at play here. But then even people are like, come on, beat for beat, it Star Wars. I disagree. Like, yeah, there are big elements. You know, Death Star 3 is kind of like the Empire or the First Order. Whoever makes another Death Star
Yeah, I mean,
needs to not run the galaxy. Like, there's your campaign right there. If you're the other guy, the Republic candidate and stuff, and the fucking First Order candidate is like, you know what's gonna fucking take care of shit around here?
We're going to build a giant gun in a planet.
But this one's gonna be better, I swear. And fucking
sealed off the exhaust ports.
Rebel proof. We're gonna put all sorts of assholes in it, and people can't touch it, man.
Yeah, we had a 10-year-old look at the plans to make sure there weren't giant fucking holes you could deposit torpedoes into.
That didn't bother me though, honestly. Like, people got shitty about that. Like, come on, another Death Star. I'm like, look. Lucas himself did another Death Star. The master himself. And that's another interesting thing you're seeing online. For the last 10 years, they've been bending Lucas over and just like, straight up, and here's your Jar Jar, right? And crazy nuts going after him. I was reading Deadline this week when they were doing the box office reports. And man, you want to, you know, when you jump into the comment section.
Don't ever do that, man.
Of that world. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Everyone's erudite. Everyone knows how Hollywood should be run and shit like that. But it's crazy how many people, like, you know, people are like, I don't like this movie, blah, blah, blah. But how all of a sudden people are like, Well, Lucas was a visionary. and then they start making like the prequels okay too, going like, look, you may not like Jar Jar, but at least he expanded his universe, whereas this movie feels like fan service. I'm glad it's fan service, man.
Yeah.
Like this is the age of the fan film. Like where they'll give a bunch of money to somebody who loves that thing more than the person maybe created it. And I'll tell you right now, like that doesn't offend me in the least. We're seeing two prime examples of that in this season. JJ Abrams with Star Wars Force Awakens, Ryan Coogler with Creed.
Yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing.
Ultimate fan films, right?
I feel like Star
And I'm
Wars...
not saying, I'm sorry, I don't want people to...
Yeah.
Shut up, Marc. Before people go, like, you fucking dismissive piece of shit. I don't mean that as like, these are fan films. It's crazy. Like, these are two cats, had no connection to the source material other than I love it more than I love my own life. And were eventually given the keys to the kingdom and created really great additions to those franchises.
Yeah, I feel like
they've not completely revived both of them.
I feel like the key to doing a Star Wars movie is to realize that it's not about you, is to get out of the way. And when Lucas made the first one, like, yes, out of whole cloth, invented the awesome. For the other two movies, for Empire and Jedi, he kind of got out of the way. It wasn't about him. It was, let me tell a good story, let me give these other directors, let me make a thing. When he comes back for the prequels, they become about him. They become about who he is. And I love trade federations, and I love negotiations and blockades and shit like that. JJ realized it's not about me. I need to get out of the way. And yes, in a large part, remake that first movie. And I'm fine with that. Like, I'm fine with, we're on a desert planet, and the planes are in a droid, and there's a princess, maybe, who gets kidnapped on a thing that we gotta go rescue, and there's a trench run, and we're blowing up another Death Star. All right, that's cool. I like all of those things. Why not give me more of those things?
Exactly. Why is that wrong? Why is it like there some cats, and believe me, it's minor. Like it seems like the whole of the internet is on his side largely.
Totally.
Even like the people who are normally kind of negative are like, look, I liked it.
Yeah.
Hardcore negative people though, you can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's
just like, fuck, burn it.
Can you find problems with that movie? You can find problems with any movie. Yeah. But ultimately, it's how did it make you feel? Like, that's what you go to the movies for.
And shit on myself, man.
You know?
I mean, it was exactly what I wanted. That's the thing. And now I understand the Lucas quote. Remember when he was just like, the fans are gonna love this. Like, yes.
Yeah. It's not the movie I would have made, but the fans are gonna love it because he didn't know how to get out of its way.
Or that, like, I get it. He's like, look, I wasn't interested in making a fan film. He's going, I didn't ever make a fan film. I made Star Wars for me, and this was what I wanted to do, and other people really liked it. And then we expanded the world, and I let other people direct and stuff like that. But when I came back to direct years later, I come back with the same ethos by which I made American Graffiti, THX 1138, and Star Wars, which is like, I'm not thinking about an audience. He told us every time. He's like, I haven't looked at the internet in a long time. I don't know what people want or care about. And
have you met the 400-acre village I built for myself and never leave?
I have my own planet. Like, why would I? So this is a man who did get his own planet by just going like, well, I'm going to tell the story I want to tell.
Yeah.
So he went back to tell the stories he wanted to tell, which had a lot to do with politics and taxes and shit like that.
Okay.
Sounds like a story of a guy who owns his own like planet where he's just like, I pay a lot of taxes. How do I work this out in my art?
Do I need my own fire department? I think I do.
He does, man.
He has one.
Property. And beautiful property.
It's lovely.
Up there. But this was a guy, like, it's his, so he can do with it what he wants. But the thing was, everybody feels like, oh my God, Star Wars is mine. Because I saw it with my dad, and I saw it with, at this time in my life, and blah, blah, blah. And I was a super fan. I had all the toys. And they're right, too. Nobody's wrong, you know what I'm saying? And everybody's getting what they wanted. Like, George Lucas got to make the exact movies he wanted to make and stuff.
And they still exist. They're not going anywhere.
And by the way, they did not fail, like, at the box office.
None of them did.
No, I mean, like, people could be like, fuck Jar Jar. Those movies made billions of dollars.
Yeah.
So they were successful. Some of them, I think, are in the top 10, right? I think one.
Yeah, I mean, the first three, yeah.
So,
sure.
well, the original trilogy, but I think one of the prequels.
I think Sith is.
10. So it's like, obviously, he did what he wanted to do, and I was happy with it then, because I'm like, look how happy he is. This is what he wants, and he's the master, and right on. And now fans get what they want, where, and he sold it to Disney. It's not like Disney wrestled it away from him in the night like that. Like Finn was taken from his parents. Now we can talk new Star Wars references. As Finn was ripped away from his parents, Star Wars was not ripped away from George Lucas. He sold it to Disney. And Disney was like, how do we make $4 billion back?
ooh, let's make a movie just like the first movie that everybody loves a lot.
And makes, beat for, and not beat for beat in terms of like, it's a carbon copy of the movie, but just what are the elements? What was the magic? What's the, it's no formula, but like, what did y'all love about Star Wars?
That's JJ's thing. JJ's thing is moments. Like, let me give you this moment that will be the thing that you love the most. And when Rey gets that fucking lightsaber, it's one of my favorite moments of the year.
I saw some guy reviewed it. I forget where it was, and he was saying, I want to say it was like New Yorker, and he was saying like, you know, every moment feels designed to have an applause sign behind it. But I'm like, well, yeah, and that's
it's a crowd-pleasing movie.
Yeah, like I wanted to like. Let's get on this ship. Boom. All right, let's take the junker. And it's fucking, you know, holy shit, it's the Falcon. I wanted that. I wanted those. I wanted to be like, you know, the door comes up, Chewie, we're home, and I wanted to be in a theater that applauded and stuff like that. So I got what I wanted.
Totally.
I think a lot of people did. I think that was
I'm loving, the thing that I love the most about this is I'm looking at Twitter, and I'm just looking at all of these women that I follow on Twitter who were like, now I feel like I'm a part of this. You know, like Rey is the thing I've always wanted. I didn't want to be a princess. I wanted to be a smuggler. I wanted to be smart. I wanted a lightsaber. Like
my wife said, dude, I sat there with my wife, and my wife was just like, I've been waiting 30 years for this.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, and she's like, you don't get it. I had Princess Leia in my youth. That's all I had. A woman with a gun, the only woman in that whole movie, like kind of with a gun. And she's like, to see...
Who gets to watch the finale.
Yeah, who's just like, to go into the big fight? It looks like this. Come here, go to the wide shot.
Yeah.
This is fucking Star Wars. Princess Leia in Star Wars. Oh, man.
Wow.
I hope they're okay. They're like, weren't you up there fighting and killing stormtroopers?
Into the garbage chute, flyboy. Nah, now I'm done with that.
But they found a farm boy who I guess is better than me somehow. So
apparently.
I'm gonna sit here and look worried.
I've only got like 10 years in the Senate, and
and again, I was shooting stormtroopers like not 2 hours ago in the fucking neck, and I faced down this other dude.
Totally. Who else goes up against Vader and walks away? Me. This bitch. I do that.
Did you see the giant black ball he brought in the room to stab me with and tell the truth?
What else you got?
But no, I'll just sit here and watch the table. Hey, General Modano, what's going on where the real action's at? Yeah, this time around, man, she gets the lightsaber and gets to be like, swang, and take him on. I saw some fuckers get real upset online about that too, dude. Where you're like, look, dude, I'm as geeky as they get. You know what I'm saying? But shit like this makes me scared for humanity. Some guy going like, it's bullshit that Rey could beat Kylo Ren if he's as trained in the Jedi arts as they're saying. And then goes on to write a dissertation about how she, you know, there he is. Oh, I fucking love him in that movie, dude. I do. I fucking loved Adam Driver in this movie. I would watch more movies about Kylo Ren. They could have got, even if they were like, hey, we're going to get rid of Chewie, I'd be like, all right, more Kylo Ren. I liked it.
Yeah?
But I like Chewie quite a bit, too.
Oh, he's so sweet.
Yeah, it was awesome. And he fucking got mad at the end. So now, next movie is like Death Wish with Chewie.
Here's the thing that I missed the most from this movie, that I wanted more than anything and didn't get. I wanted the funeral scene. I wanted.
They ended a movie like that. Remember, didn't the Revenge of the Sith end with like remember fucking one? The first movie ended with a big parade, and then the last movie ended with a big fucking funeral. Like that was the last thing you saw in Star Wars, except for the kid on the Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen holding the kid on the planet.
But like I wanted the scene where Leia has to eulogize Han. And then tell me what he meant to her, what he means to the fans. Like, do that thing where she tells me what I'm supposed to feel, and I'm crying my fucking face.
So you wanted the Kirk burial speech?
Yeah,
his
like,
was the most
human.
Yeah,
and the fucking bagpipes blowing. Like that's.
But they still got 2 more movies. You know what I'm saying? Like
we're gonna pick up the first one with a funeral scene because that's how you start a blockbuster.
Well, but like, look, we're rebooting the franchise. We don't want to send people home on a down note. They're like, we want fucking people feeling good and shit. So yes, Han got killed. We're gonna celebrate mourn his death in the next movie. That's
or at the very least, I wanted like Chewie to hug Leia. Like they both lost the most important person they've ever known.
They had the pre-moment. But we didn't get to see the post.
Yeah, because literally it's like Chewie is walking off the ship and Leia walks right past him and goes to hug Rey. It's like, this girl I've never met before, she needs a hug.
She's clearly moved by the death of another human. You're an animal. She's like, why would I care what you think? What does the dog think about Han's death? Shut up. Go clean something.
Don't shit in the yard.
She's like... Oh, shit in the yard. Hey, I'm a general now. Shit in the yard. Yeah, man, I was not. Didn't take me out of the movie one iota. Going like, well, she doesn't. I believe the title of the movie, Mark, was The Force Awakens. So to me, it felt like in that fight, fucking Force Awakens.
It woke a little bit.
I was like, well, here's the title in action, and so it didn't bother me that she fought well. I didn't think she was fluid. Like she kept doing this shit a lot of stabbings.
Yeah.
Like which is the weirdest move. I'd never do that. I'd be like, and then granted, he'd probably put his shit right through me.
Probably.
But that, I'm like, I'm figuring I'm gonna die anyway. Because motherfucker's like, I'm Darth Vader too. I'd be like, all right, so I'm going for one big, I'd fucking baseball come through that way and shit. And he'd probably hit me. I tell you, man, there's a scene in Return of the Jedi. This has always baffled me. And this is probably one of the reasons why I talk about Star Wars in my movies. Scene in Return of the Jedi where Luke Skywalker's sitting there. And the Emperor's in the big chair, and he's like, grab your weapon, strike me down, and shit. And Luke's looking at it, and starts jiggling, and Darth Vader's right there and shit. And all he has to do is and kill the Emperor. And he sucks it into his hand, makes the move, where the Force grabs it, and then comes right at the Emperor's face. And, of course, Darth Vader, much faster, blocks the shot. Whole fucking thing changes if he does, all he does is grabs it, zoom, and does this shit as it goes on. Turns around through the back of the chair and cuts the motherfucker in half. Darth Vader wouldn't even know what hit him, dude. He'd be like, who goes behind the chair? And then he tries to walk. And that'd be that.
Nobody goes behind the chair.
Oh, he'd say it like out loud in that James Earl Jones voice.
Or just like fucking turn it on when it's on his little armrest there. Just
oh my God.
You don't even need to pick it. It doesn't
Go
know
to
to
a
hold it.
two-shot. These guys just redefined the movie. I thought my idea was smart. This idea is even smarter. A true Jedi wouldn't even have to grab the weapon.
Hold it.
He'd just be like,
Why? Just
Tabitha, like in Bewitched. Look who's here. You want to pop in and say hi?
What?
Jump in here and jump on Mike. Let's hear what he had to say about
tell us.
Star Wars. Ladies and gentlemen, of Jane Silent
man.
Bob,
Hello,
Jason
sir. Hello.
Mewes.
Hello.
Say hi to the kids.
Hi.
All right, go and give them a single. No, you don't
like,
move.
where?
How awesome. He's like, you've been in the movie business 22 years, dude. I'm like, give me a single. And you're like, I'll run to the camera. The camera
I
works
thought you
around
meant like
you.
go sit over there.
You
and
go
like,
right
do
to
a
there and
single
they'll
shot.
give you a single. All right, so down the barrel of that camera, being his on, drop a little bit. There you go. Not that now. You don't want to see me. Give yourself some stature. You don't want people being like, I ain't listening to this fucking
Remind
little
people how
person.
short I actually am.
Yeah, I can feel Mark's space, would you? Down the barrel, you tell him what you thought. You tell him what you thought of Force Awakens.
Wait, what's Force Awakens?
Star
No,
Wars.
it was. I mean, it made me cry. It made me tear up. There's little, even the little things, a silly little comment they made. I mean, not comment, but Han Solo says.
Spoilers.
Yes, I guess I am spoiling. Han Solo says, "Is there a trash compactor?"
You like
Oh,
that?
just that. I mean, there's a lot more that I
The
liked.
little homages. That was
Yes,
cute.
that
Like,
made me.
Oh, when I was a boy, I had a trash compactor.
Yes,
He's talking
there's-
about my toy.
Yeah, it was
you have that
fantastic. I did. No, I didn't. Sorry,
Some
but my
friend- I was
buddy
gonna say
did.
you
Yes.
couldn't afford that.
No, I couldn't
If
afford
I didn't
that.
have the Death Star, you didn't
I
fucking
didn't.
have the Death
I didn't
Star.
have anything. I had like
You
two
had a
figures.
shoebox with some fucking dirt in it. And you were like, you were doing this with the box.
The
and
cardboard
pushing the wall
boxes were great, though, right? Like you put little holes in them, little yarn, and you can have them slide down and
Build
stuff.
your own fucking empire. Not like
Yes.
Kenner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
screw Kenner.
Looking at a boy,
no, not really.
Look, you're looking at a boy here, a poor boy who had to play Star Wars with like potatoes, and salt shakers. Those were his figures.
Toothpick was the lightsaber.
You never saw a sadder lightsaber fight than when a pepper shaker goes against a carrot and they're talking about the Force. Man, that was embarrassing. In any event,
but the movie was great. Honestly, it was right from when the scroll up. It made me tingle. It gave me some. I went and watched it with the wife.
did she tingle as well?
I don't know. I was hoping because there was a blanket involved and I was trying to. But anyway, but yeah, no, it was. She really dug
You did
it.
see it under
She
pretty
really
good
dug
conditions. This iPic Theater, tell 'em
Yeah,
about
the
it.
iPic Theater, man. It had the reclining seats, and you're like there's two seats by themselves, a little table. You got to order soft pretzels, pizza. All of it's brought to you so you could eat. I was eating. Oh, it was
What's
fantastic.
really crazy about it is you're far more eloquent about the snacks than the movie itself. Like the movie, you're like maybe tingle, but when the snacks, you're like, oh,
It was
you
so
busted
good.
out like Julia Childs. Man.
It was the combination though. But again, the movie. It was good. Again, for me, it was pretty long, and I feel like if I can stay awake and not go run to the bathroom, then I know I enjoy the movie. It's such a weird little judge I do.
No,
but
that's
if
your
I,
scale. That's
yeah,
your
it's my
thumbs
scale,
up or 5
yes.
stars. You're like, did I pee? No,
Yeah.
that's go good.
Because I can't leave because I'm like I can't miss anything.
You got up and peed during the Captain America movie.
Which I really dug, but I guess maybe I had to pee too
How
bad.
fucking scared you were. I swear I liked it, America. Don't hit me.
I did like Captain
but you
America
had to
as
take a
well,
leak
but
before.
yeah. But Captain
Star Wars,
America
you
was
nailed it.
fun. Star Wars made me tingle. It's two different. It's like having a tingly butt or an erection. Star Wars erection.
What a
tingly
pro.
butt.
Had to bring sex in.
Thanks, I had to. I'm sorry. But anyway, I'm glad I got to come on here. It's my first shot here on Batman. But as you can see as I'm talking, why I'm not ever brought on as a guest.
First and last shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Batman.
Thank you, everyone.
Jason Mewes, ladies and gentlemen. The Force is not with him.
I don't know how to fill this space anymore.
Oh my God! Look how easy it is. If we'd met years ago, Marc and Silent Bob. That's it.
There's a tremor in the force, as if one voice was quietly snuffed out.
From the back of the room. Creed, man. Let's talk about Creed real quick. I hadn't seen it. We talked about it on the show. You'd seen it. I hadn't seen it. You sold me on it, but I was pretty sold
all the
anyway.
tears, man.
Oh my Lord! What an emotional film it was. I loved it. And again, like, hats off to JJ and to Ryan Coogler. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of movie I want to see, man.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see. Like, I've seen Sylvester Stallone's Rocky a few times. Like what he did with his character, he created, and he can do anything he wants with it and stuff. But it was awesome seeing somebody else be like, put it through this prism. And in that way, he shined.
Yeah, and then still hit every one of the beats you need out of a Rocky movie. Like, there's still the training montage. There's still the fight that he loses. There's still the girl that he's trying to romance and doesn't quite know what to do with. There's still the big fucking fight, and it still works. Everything still works.
I mean, you want to tell, like, people are going like, oh, there's a lot of stuff, like the first Star Wars and this Force Awakens. A lot of stuff like Rocky and Creed.
Totally.
And that's the reason we all go like, oh, this rocks. This
Especially
works.
the first one when he's wooing Adrian and he's like standing outside the door like trying to get her to come out. They're the same scenes in this movie where he's trying to get what's her face, Tessa.
I like her.
Tessa Thompson is the actress.
Dear White People.
Yeah.
She's good. I like her.
She's really good.
Actress,
You
I
know.
liked her in that movie and I liked her in this. And I liked her storyline too. Like with the
idea that she's a musician who at some point will lose her hearing.
Come on.
And so everything for her is just a race to get her work done.
She even says, she's like, I'm going to do what I love until I can't do it anymore. And
Yeah.
It's kind of a metaphor for life. Yeah, she was wonderful. He was wonderful. I mean, look like fucking cut crazy.
Oh.
I mean, that was,
It's one of those,
the
like,
hardest part of the movie to watch as a middle-aged man, just being like, so that is possible with the human body?
I remember
Wouldn't
when Denzel got in shape to do the Hurricane. Somebody said, you should do an action movie right after this because you're 45 years old and you will never look like this again. It's almost not possible for a man of this age to keep looking like this.
But Washington still looks
He's
pretty
not
damn good.
He's 60 years old. He's the baddest uncle you've ever had. Uncle Denzel will fuck you up.
Was it Michael B. Jordan?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan did. I thought he captured. Well, I mean, he didn't capture Apollo Creed.
Adonis.
But what is the actor's name?
Oh, Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. He didn't do a Carl Weathers type performance. He wasn't like doing it, but he captured the essence of the boxing film. Boxing film goes way back, even before Rocky, man. When they were making black and whites.
Yeah, like Requiem for a Heavyweight. Like
why do you think it is? Do you think it's because like one person gets in a ring and it's all about you and determination to get beyond?
There's the mano a mano of it. There's the like all I have to do is beat this guy up and I can win. But
and you got a third act instantly.
Absolutely, like you know where you're going. There's a fight. But I think it's a class thing. There's a sense of I have nothing. Like I'm poor, I'm broke, I have no opportunity unless I do this thing, which is dangerous. And anybody can do it. All it takes is commitment and especially with Rocky, not even talent, but just heart. Like you have to want it.
It's true. Like when you think about when we were kids, people, not me, but healthier kids were like, I'm Rocky. I was the one on the playground who laying on my side going, I'm Jabba. We are the stars of 80s Hollywood. But a lot of cats wanted to be like Rocky because it was like you can, even Stevens come from nowhere and rise. Mm-hmm. Do you think the modern day equivalent is Batman? Like seriously, most kids want to be Batman, and it is also an achievable, attainable goal. Not really, but we all tell ourselves.
Right. Except that his superpower is vast wealth.
Yeah, which they tell us in America we could all
You can
have
totally do
if we just work hard enough.
Right, but like there is the thing about boxing where and it goes in phases where there were the black boxers and then the poor white boxers and then the poor Hispanic boxers. Like it was a thing where the best boxers were always the people who had it the worst socially, and so Rocky in the 70s, like plants are closing down, like people are out of work. It's like the sort of second boomlet of a depression. It's like I want the sense I can rise, and I can rise with my fists.
And how come is Creed entering or coming out at the same type of time? Like why? I mean, is it just like this movie's entertaining on its own merit, but also leaning on a legacy of some sort?
It's leaning on a legacy for sure, but it's also coming at that.
It works with that. You don't have to see Rocky.
No, I mean, I've seen with people who have no idea what Rocky is. I'm like, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Jay's wife, she hadn't seen any of the Rockies, and she was like, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, but if you've seen Rocky, oh, man.
Dude, the end of that movie, I don't know, it sounds like, people are going to start calling this the all pussy show. Because all we ever do is like, well, I watched this shit and I cried at this. I can't help it, man. That movie's incredibly emotional. Cried during the fight scene. Mm-hmm. During spoilers, if you haven't seen it, go fucking see it. It's so worth seeing. Creed, like, bam, he gets fucking knocked to the canvas, and they do 2 knock to the canvas shots in this movie where it's almost like they just fucking let the camera fall with the actor, and you feel the hit of like, Jesus, I've never been in a boxing ring. I don't have any interest in ever being in a boxing ring. I was like, that's close enough.
You're done.
Holy crap! But he goes down, and they're counting him out and stuff, and in his head, he's seeing like everybody, the girl,
it's
Alicia
that thing.
Rashad, his mom, his stepmom,
adopted
mom. Then he sees Rocky as well, and then they cut. This is so beautiful. And then they cut to like a shot of Apollo Creed in the ring, grainy footage from Rocky.
Yeah.
And he fucking pops up, and even the announcer is just like, "Hey, just come back from the dead." And you're like, "That's incredibly moving." Like he couldn't find the strength to get up, and even like his surrogate dad, Rocky and stuff. What got him up was the man he never met. Yeah. Legacy, the idea of like this name, this man. I
can earn my place.
And I'm gonna try to do this without crying, but the biggest fucking moment for me, before the last moment, was when he's in the corner and he's like, "You don't have to do this. I'm gonna call this fight." And he's like, "No, I have to show him I'm not a mistake." Come on, dude.
Forget it.
Come on. I was bawling. I was like, that's why he's fighting so hard.
And then he stands up, and then the fucking music. They had held off on that Bill Conti theme for the entire movie until the 10th round, and then it's dun 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 dun. You're like, oh my god, you get up and down the screen.
All the
you do whatever you have to do. You put the fucking.
You're watching that movie going like, they must not have been able to afford that music because they haven't used it at all. And then you realize judiciously, they waited to use it until a moment that's going to impact.
They got right in my exhaust ports, man.
Oh, he was fucking incredibly well done. Give that man every movie to direct. And we were talking about, hey, you should have Black Panther. Fuck that. Give him every movie. All of them. Give him the Star Wars movie. Although, I'll be the first to lead the charge that I think JJ should direct the whole trilogy now. I thought he did a killer job with the first one. I mean, I know they've already been giving out those movies, and I'm not shitting on Colin Trevorrow or Ryan Johnson, who I love. I love Looper, but I don't know. Like, he did a killer job. It's crazy. But that's what they did with the first one. Maybe they're aping the formula of the first one.
JJ gets to be the Lucas. He gets to be the sort of godfather who oversees all of this stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But,
I mean,
do you really want to be the Lucas? Don't you want to be the JJ right now?
But
like,
here's the
directing the movie? Like, I understand. They got schedules, people working on things. But if I'm running things, I'm like, he can make every movie he can possibly make while I'm here at the studio. And even if he wants to take movies away from other people, the motherfucker could come into my house and be like, I'm remaking Clerks. I'd be like, do it, JJ.
Go ahead.
Reboot the shit out of Clerks. Make it better. Put in color, running and shit.
Can you do
Dante?
Can you do lens flare in black and white?
Oh my God. I think he did a great job. He's a fucking born entertainer.
Yes.
With movies. Same way that Spielberg was born to like He'd fucking make you have a good time and shit like that. And it comes right out that school, man. I saw some reviews talking about Force Awakens is more like a Spielberg film. They felt it was very Raiders of the Lost Ark. I didn't get that at all. Just by virtue of the fact they went a few places. But other than that, it felt Star Wars.
There is a bit of a breathlessness to it, and in the same way that Lawrence Kasdan co-wrote it with him.
Yeah.
And it's got that pace. It's got that drive. I watched Star Wars again, and there's a bit of time in the desert where you're like, all right, I guess we're going to get some...
Thing, but pacing-wise...
It's very languorous that way.
70s movie.
Yeah, and so Kasdan
Remember,
was
Jaws, you don't fucking see the shark until halfway through the movie.
No, not so much. There's a lot of they were karate chopping the fences again.
Which is memorable and awesome.
I love
think
it.
about it, you're like, oh, that old lady, but she ain't the shark.
No. But so there's definitely a sprint happening, even when they get to the, how do we blow up this Star Killer base? All right, we're just going to fucking go in there.
Yeah.
We could explain, who gives a shit?
I did like the graphic of this was the Death Star. This is your brain on drugs.
Yeah.
Any questions? They're like, yeah, I'll shoot that thing out the sky. I understand. Excuse me, I got phlegm. You're coming off a cold?
I'm on the upswing.
I'm on my way to the cold because Marc gave it to me when we were making out after Star Wars. This is so good.
Hold me!
I'll watch him blow up a Death Star every Star Wars movie. If you give me the shot, which I still think about, gives me fucking chills, dude. And again, some people be like, they blew up fucking Alderaan, you dick. But they didn't show us this moment. That moment where whatever planet they were shooting down, where the Republic was, and they show a bunch of people looking at fire coming from the sky, and they can't do anything. That captured my imagination, man. That's good filmmaking, because I was like, whoa, immediately, I put myself on that planet and go what would I do? I'd just start jerking off because there's nowhere to run, Marc.
See, now I want to see you make the day before Star Killer base movie.
You ain't kidding.
Of just so what are you going to do today? I don't know. I'm going to go to the office, but I don't feel like going in.
So much. I want to marry you. Oh, God, let's get married tomorrow at 9.
All right, this would be great. Wait, fire from the sky?
Are you throwing rice at us?
Yeah.
This flame. I like that very much. I thought that was badass. Blowing up 5 planets like you were taking a fucking cue ball shot. It was like, pew, 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 pew. That was cool. But the notion that there were a bunch of people looking up going what?
Whoops.
Why? What is this? What? And you can't run? That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's a Crimson Ocean. The movie had some darkness to it, man.
A little bit.
Opens up with kill everyone in the village. Spoilers. Kill it. Yeah, by the way, a lot of spoilers.
If you got this far.
Yeah, come on.
We're talking about funerals.
But heavens, man, the idea of brutality of the First Order is not implied.
Yeah. No, not so much.
Show 'em.
Genocide.
All right, so I love those. We got to wrap up soon. I love those 2 movies.
Yes.
Nobody asked, but I love those 2 movies. Go see Force Awakens and go see Creed.
Take your dad to go see Creed.
Yeah,
if you can.
Let me tell you, man, just the last scene in Creed, destroyed me. Destroyed me, and I realized why I was watching it. They walk, spoilers, man. They finally go up the Rocky steps, but Rocky goes up the steps like an old man goes up the steps, being helped by Michael B. Jordan. And I was a child of the 70s. I saw that movie with my father. So, number one, you're like, oh, the pathos of older Rocky kind of getting up those, and then instantly I'm like, that was my dad before he died. He didn't look as good as Rocky, I'll tell you that much right now, but moving slow and shit, so instantly waterworks were turned on, and he gets up to the top, and he had that moment where he's just like, I used to believe I could see my whole life from up here, and so he better get a fucking.
If he doesn't win an Oscar, it's because
right? Not just
he's going to win an Oscar unless he does something horrible.
Yeah, like if not find a fucking dead boy or a live girl or vice versa in his fucking bed, man, because he's got a real shot.
He's got to run into a bus full of nuns in order for this not to happen.
Or just be like, you know what, I like ISIS. There, I said it. Something real horrible. Because he's got it's weird because he's played the character a bunch.
Yeah, for 40 years.
But this is the first time maybe since Rocky 3 that I give a shit. Yeah. That I'm not just because I've seen them all, don't get me wrong. I'm invested like it's a TV show. I'm there until they cancel this program. And that performance transcends every other performance. It's the material.
Yeah, it's so strong.
Coogler, and again, kids, him and his buddy were in school going, wouldn't it be fun to write a Rocky movie? With no connections whatsoever, went and came up with a Rocky movie. It exists now. Dream big, kids. That's crazy.
Everything is possible.
Everything is possible.
You can fly.
Well,
you can't fly.
Yeah, don't. Without jet propulsion, flight is not possible. All right, that's all we got, man.
That's it, dude.
Let's jump out of here.
Peace.
That's it for this edition. We're gonna come back next week and go over the comic booky stuff and whatnot, DC and Marvel, and then after that, it'll be our final show of the year. You're like, what? You guys just got started. You're right.
We're done.
Yeah, man. We're taking it easy, man. We're taking it the Italian way. We only work like 12 weeks a month. 12 weeks
Siesta.
A year, something like that. In any event, thanks for hanging out, man. I've been Kevin Smith.
Marc Bernardin.
Come back to this to the Fat Cave for more Fat Man on Batman next week. Same fat time, same fat channel right here.
www.youtube.com/Kevin Smith.
I think I remember. It's got my name in it.
Getting good at this.